Hi, and welcome to the Market Alert for Wednesday, the 28th of February 2024. So, crude oil dips from range highs after API reports bigger than expected crude build. We also saw yesterday stocks were choppy and mostly finished with marginal gains after largely ignoring weak data. So we've got a bit of a pullback going on yesterday after, of course, the massive move in the DAX yesterday morning and all the way through to the afternoon session, making new all-time high. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. Economic news for today, we've just got prelim GDP, and we've got the G20 meeting starting today as well. As I said in the alert on Monday, there's no economic news this week to move the markets. Well, not to the downside anyway, and that was certainly borne out yesterday, particularly in the German DAX, where we saw the market continue to make new all-time highs from the start. So let's have a look at the markets. We'll kick off with the Dow as usual, but the star again performer was the German DAX. So let's have a look at the Dow. So in the Dow yesterday, not making a new all-time high, the 39,285 remains. Market down yesterday after coming down on Monday as well. So 2 days we've seen the Dow moving lower as the German DAX has moved higher. 30-minute chart, you can see that we moved up. And it was strange yesterday morning because the Dow and the DAX were certainly out of sync for the electronic session of the Dow and the cash market for the DAX, which moved higher. And then at 2:30, the Dow moved lower, had a bit of a bounce later on. And overnight, it's even gapped lower and is near the close as well. So I'd expect a bit more profit taking to start with in the Dow. If it is going to move higher, it'll have to get that out of the way. So in the German DAX, star performance yesterday, the market driving higher. And there you can see 17,605 heading up towards 18,000. It is pure insanity. This market has put on since October. Let's just go back to October and just measure up to see how many points have actually been added. So from there all the way up to yesterday's high, the market has put on a 3,016 points. Massive number of points during the period there. So yesterday again, I'll say 17,605 in the 30-minute chart. There was no stopping it from the start. The market just took off. There was a bit of stopping around, was it midday here? Yeah, 1:30 when we had the US news. And after that, the market continuing to the upside. Trading up just short of the high overnight, and the market just making its way back. It's below the close at the moment, so don't be surprised if the DP and the 50 EMA in the 30-minute chart are tested later today, particularly at the open. In the S&P 500, same as the Dow, down in Monday's session, down during Tuesday's, sideways at the moment. 5,111 is still the all-time high. Consolidating a bit up in the morning session, struggled with the DP, and then the market down to the S1 and the 200 MA, and before it saw a bounce last night, which is interesting because the Dow didn't bounce as much, whereas the S&P took out the resistance to the left where it had sold off in the morning. Market sitting on the close, 50 EMA, back below the 5 and the 20, but at the moment market showing a bit of support there. Again, when the UK and European markets open for their cash sessions at 8 a.m, you could expect to see a bit of a down move as traders take some of the profits gained over the last few months. In the FT100, market is sideways. We've got all of this resistance here, fib retracements to get through if the market is to move higher. Still got the original 89% retracement as well, which is coming off this high. So from there, projected up to there, is still giving the market some grief. Meanwhile, in the 30-minute chart, that's a choppy market for yesterday. Market coming off the lows though, which you can see there, up and then back down to the lows a couple of times before the market bounced. Overnight, the market is finding support at the close as well, and also the DP, so trying to come off there, and also the 200 MA, so three indicators there where the market is likely to find a bit of support. Over to the US dollar, this is consolidating and moving higher. Let me just get rid of that. Consolidating and moving higher. So in the US dollar, the market is consolidating and no doubt is going to start moving back to the upside. The metals market's already suffered and been pushed to the downside along with the US dollar. So let's have a look at the reaction to yesterday's session. So in the silver market, as I said yesterday, they're going to continue to move the market lower. We're going back down to this level here, down to $21.86, $22 an ounce. We continue to see this. I mean, if the dollar is going to move higher and silver couldn't move higher when the dollar was moving lower, then there's only one way back with this, and that's back to the downside. So yesterday you see the London fix and the US news moving the market to the downside, consolidated for a moment and then continue lower, and you can see there the market down at the low at the moment coming off this, but don't hold your breath, it'll soon reverse back through this level. Meanwhile, gold holding really well, stuck in a sideways range, consolidating, but that's because central banks continue to accumulate gold at a record level. And in the 30-minute chart, you've got a bit of a pullback during yesterday afternoon after the economic news and the London fix, down to the 200 MA in the 30-minute chart and starting to move back to the upside. Let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio, see the effect upon yesterday's trading session in this market. So no surprise to me or anybody else that's followed this over the last few weeks. 92 is the first upside target. We get through this, we go back towards 100, and we're heading up quite nicely. During the last few weeks we did see it break to the downside, taking out that support, but it didn't take long, in fact just one day, to get back above and move the market to the upside. See these numbers here, I just think it's absolutely insane, but there you go, it is what it is. Let's have a quick look at yesterday's trades in the 2-minute DAX, see what the market did. So as we saw earlier in the German DAX, the market was moving up in the pre-market session and then continued just to go. As soon as the market opened, we had a bit of a pullback, and then there's the shakeout, as I mentioned each morning, that you'll get a bit of a pullback, get rid of the cash stocks. There wasn't a lot to get rid of yesterday morning, and then the market was just driven all the way up to the high of Monday. Market making a new all-time high there. Then we had a potential buy signal. You'll see I've marked up that new all-time high there at 17,470. Just see if the market will get through on this trade. The market goes through, and then I'm just trailing up the stop, and as the market comes back, then take the profits off the table there as the market retraces and then continue. So I should have just kept the stop at break even or in the original place, because it never ran out of steam, again making another all-time high, 1 point off the psychological level of 17,500, and then we went through that area. Then we had a bit of a break, and then again off we went once more as the Dow came on mid-morning. You'll see that in a moment, and off we go again. We had another drive to the upside, this time going through the 17,550 before the market came back 50 points, and then sideways for the afternoon. The weakness in the US continued when it opened. The DAX didn't, know it held and even moved to the upside when the Dow was struggling, and the S&P as well. So I don't know what's going on in Germany to drive this market like it's being driven at the moment, but it continues to move strongly to the upside there. Let's have a look at the 2-minute chart. So overnight, the German DAX sideways at the moment, but we're not far from the all-time high, so there's no problem attacking this once more. Like I say, if anybody knows what's going on in Germany to drive these markets to the upside when we're in recession, and well, basically, I mean, Europe's a basket case, US is also a basket case, and yet the markets continue to move higher. I can only put this down to the fact that the war drums are beating behind the scenes, and somebody knows something that we don't know, but we'll find out eventually. But it's very, very strange what's going on at the moment. There's no end to it. Again, you've got the election year as well, but it seems a bit odd that they would drive the market so hard, so fast. 9 months before voting takes place, if there is any voting this year. or during this election. Who knows what's coming down the line? Anyway, that's where we are with the 2-minute chart. Sideways at the moment. We're half an hour away from the futures to open, an hour and a half before the cash market opens. Right, so that's it for this one. Let's see what happens during today. Again, no major news. G20 meeting. Let's see what happens. So with that, as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.